Gotta love it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ultimate Suppressor Championships, USC2. Let's get ready to suppress! In this corner, weighing in at 17.3 ounces, with a length of 7.8 inches, a diameter of 1.57 inches, constructed of titanium and stainless steel, a retail cost of $999. The SilencerCo Hybrid. In this corner, weighing in at 20.7 ounces, with a length of 9 inches, a diameter of 1.375 inches, constructed with a titanium sleeve and stainless steel monocore, a retail price of $675. The Leadfoot LE3. And finally, in this corner, weighing in at 10.8 ounces, with a length of 10 inches, a diameter of 1.5 inches, constructed of 100% premium grade 7075 aluminum screw-on stack, a retail price of $249. The Rebel Silencers SOS Hunter. Howdy folks, it's Nito with AP 2020 Outdoors. I'm your host for the Ultimate Suppressor Championships 2. I've got my co-host Ryan with RC Firearms LLC. I'll go ahead and put his website in the video description. So what we have planned for this USC2 is that I have my single host. This is a Ruger American Ranch 300 Blackout. I'll be shooting 4 different loads, 2 supersonic and 2 subsonic. The 2 supersonic loads I'm going to start out with. First up to bat is the Barnes 90 grain OTM open tip match. I think the chronograph velocity is around 2370. And then the second load is my Lehigh Defense 115 grain controlled chaos bullets. I've got those loaded to about 2315. So we'll go ahead and what we're going to do is I've got the SilencerCo Hybrid with the 46 end cap. We're going to shoot this first, and then we're going to progress to the Leadfoot LE3, and then finally we're going to end it with the Rebel Silencer SOS Hunter. So I'm going to shoot 5 rounds each of each load, so we're going to have 20 shots per can. Now Ryan came up with a great idea a couple days ago. We were talking about putting the video together, and when I do the final cut in the video editing room, I'm going to string together each can's shot per load. I've got a second video camera, probably about 35 yards downrange at about 1 o'clock. We're going to try to somewhat capture the sound, let's say, of a game animal downrange. And as you all know, we don't have the high-end audio equipment to actually measure the decibel rating of each can, so we're just going to rely on our subjective opinion of what we hear. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and start sending some rounds downrange. I'm just going to shoot into the dirt berm. That was a Barnes 90 grain open tip match. What do you think, Ryan? How'd that sound? Supersonic. I didn't notice a first round pop. I didn't notice any difference from the first to the last shot. Okay, so the next group of 5 loads, these are my Lehigh Defense 115 grain controlled chaos coppers. I think I'm dropping, I got some Hodgson powder H110. One more. All right, let's move on to the subsonics. The first 5 rounds will be my reloads. These are the, I think it was an NEI 201 grain cast bullet. And then the second load will be my 194 grain Lehigh Defense maximum expansion. The cast lead bullet, I'm dropping IMR 4198. And then the Lehigh Defense 194 grain maximum expansion, I'm dropping the Hodgdon Powder CFE BLK. That's pretty nice. No difference. One more. So that was the 201 grain cast lead bullets. I think they're just under 1,000 feet per second. So these are the Lehigh Defense 194 grain maximum expansions. These are a little bit faster. They're around 1,062. In my basement, I think it was about 66 degrees. A little bit louder. Think we got super on the first round? Yep. That second one is definitely quieter. Alright folks, next up to bat is a Leadfoot LE3. Once again, the order of shots will be supersonics first. I have the Barnes 90 grain open tip match, and then the Lehigh Defense 115 grain controlled chaos. First round pop. Can't tell, we'll see what the second one sounds like. No difference. Alright, next, the Lehigh Defense 115 grain controlled chaos supersonics. Alright, let's progress to the subsonics now. So once again, this is a Leadfoot LE3 can. 2 rounds of subsonics. The first 5 will be my hand cast 201 grain cast bullets, and then the second will be the Lehigh Defense 194 grain maximum expansion. Boy, those cast bullets sound nice, don't they? I bet they're not going over 1,000. They're probably closer to 950. That sounds a little bit quieter. Definitely. Okay, next up to bat, the Lehigh Defense 194 grain maximum expansions. That stayed subsonic. That wasn't too bad. All right, that's 10. All right, folks, last up for bat is the Rebel Silencers SOS Hunter. Ryan and I are kind of excited to see how this can sounds. This is going to be the first time, right?
Yep.
First time shooting. We'll see what happens. Once again, 2 sets of Supersonics, the Barnes 90 grain open tip match, and then the Lehigh Defense 115 grain controlled chaos. Here we go. Okay, now the Lehigh Defense 115 grain controlled chaos. All right, the Rebel Silencers SOS Hunter. These are the 2 sets of subsonic loads. First one is an NEI 201 grain cast bullet. Second is the Lehigh Defense 194 grain maximum expansion. Oh, that's pretty sweet. Why do you think she's smoking so much? Look at that. Huh? Oh, gotta love it, man. I'm just gonna watch and aim and then just gonna watch. Oh, you're asking about that smell? That's a lube I've got on the bullets.
Oh, that's
yeah. Oh, that's great. Those are definitely the quietest, those cast bullets. Okay, the last 5 is the Lehigh Defense 194 grain maximum expansion subsonics. Once again, we got a supersonic there. That was much better. Oh yeah. Man. All right, folks. That was pretty cool. Stay tuned. We're going to sit down and actually try to tabulate our results. All right, folks. That concludes USC 2. I don't know, what'd you think, Ryan? That was pretty interesting, huh?
That was interesting results.
You know, just like a lot of the other guys on YouTube, you know, we don't claim to be experts, and we learn every time we go out and try to do something. You know, like I made a point in the beginning of the video. You know, I don't have, how much are the laboratory sound meters?
Thousands
of dollars. And you know what? I think between Ryan's ears and somewhat my ears, we can judge fairly well how a can sounds. Let's talk about the SilencerCo hybrid first. Just as a just to preface it, this did have the 46 cal end cap. You don't have a 308 end cap yet, do you?
I don't have the 30 yet.
Yeah.
I do have the 22 for the 223, but that's obviously not going to work for this test.
Right. So with the hybrid, with the supersonics, I really didn't notice any first round pops, did you? They were pretty much all the same?
Yeah, they're very consistent. Everyone was the same. There was a little deeper tone, I noticed.
Right.
But yeah, it was
pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one thing that, you know, I don't know if I would recommend it or not. I decided to throw in my lead cast bullets as subsonics, and obviously they were sub 1,000 feet per second because they definitely sounded the quietest of the test. across all 3 cans. So anyways, we threw in the hybrid at the last minute just to throw in there in the mix. So really, we had the 2 cans that are comparable. The Leadfoot LE3, it's a 308. This is a stainless steel monocore with the titanium outer sleeve. Of course, we have the Rebel silencers, SOS 100. SOS stands for screw-on stack. Let's talk about the Leadfoot first. All right, so a really strange anomaly was occurring, and maybe Ryan has a better explanation than I can. We're just theorizing at this point. If you had noticed, with the Leadfoot can and the Rebel silencer can, the first round of the Lehigh Defense 194 grain maximum expansion, that's an all copper bullet, it appeared to sound supersonic. Ryan, any thoughts? What's your theory, maybe?
Well, I am not an expert, but I thought since it happened both times that maybe shooting a lead first caused maybe a coating on the bore that affected the first round of the Lehigh Defense.
Right.
Making it go faster, higher pressure or something.
Right. I mean, that is definitely the odds of shooting 60 rounds and having the first round on 2 cans go, well, what we thought was supersonic, you know. So that was a Leadfoot. I'm going to go ahead and apply for my 2 stamps for the Rebel Silencers SOS 22, which was featured in USC 1, and then the Rebel Silencers SOS 100. Brian, thanks again, brother. I appreciate it. Stay tuned. Ultimate Suppressor Championship 3 will be pitting. Rebel Silencers is coming out with their new SOS 9, rated for the 9mm handgun, and I think maybe carbine also. And we're going to pit that against, what do you have, Ryan?
The hybrid.
The hybrid. The hybrid. Always a hybrid.
Works for everything.
Works for everything. And end cap you'll be using?
Same one.
Same one. And I think the SOS 9 is a half 28, and I have a Glock 26 with the Lone Wolf threaded barrel, half 28. You've got the adapter for the hybrid. I think we're good to go. All right, this is Nito with AP 2020 Outdoors. My buddy Ryan with RC Firearms. Hope you all enjoyed the video. We'll see you later.